fraction circles, $37. That 15-piece musical rhythm set, about $139. Magic whiteboard, $15, or maybe $150 if you actually want a whole 10 of them so that more than one kid can use it at a time. The NEA estimates that the average American teacher spends $500 per year of their own money on classroom supplies. Hello, I am Nicole Dravillas-Fravel, and this is Wildwood Teaching. And today I want to talk about how to save money by getting away from single-use materials. So let's talk a little bit about what I mean by single-use materials. I'm not talking about consumables, right? The paper, things that get used up. I am talking about those teaching tools that we have in our classroom that really only serve one purpose. So when I was in my 20s, I watched a lot of Alton Brown's show, Good Eats. And pretty much every single show, he would go on his soapbox against unitaskers. And according to Alton Brown, a unitasker is a kitchen gadget that really only serves a single purpose, like an avocado pitter or a crepe pan. And his point was that these things are worthless because they only serve one purpose, they clutter your kitchen, and they add expense to your food budget. And I realized that we teachers are guilty of having a lot of unitaskers around in our classroom. I'm guilty of it. I have an entire set of geoboards that maybe I use once a year. I have a whole set of, nutrition magnets and weather magnets, magnets per theme. I have this fancy little ice cream play set. I actually have two of these boxes because one box is really not enough for a whole classroom of children to pretend to have an ice cream shop. But I've gotten away from all of this in recent years. Now I am a big fan of natural loose parts. And the reason is you can gather whatever you have available outside, or better yet, enlist the children to gather what they find interesting outside. And then each one can be used for multiple purposes. So take, for example, the stick, right? I can use my stick to teach pretty much anything. So let's say I don't have fraction circles. Well, I can have the children break the stick in half, right? Break it in half again, maybe. And then we're learning about fractions, right? I have a half, I have a quarter, and then I'm showing how those fractions can be put together like a puzzle. And they fit the sticks back together, right, to make the whole. So this is their hands-on way of figuring out the idea behind fractions. If I don't have a geoboard, I can use my sticks to make shapes. Maybe I need to combine it with something smaller if I want to make a circle, or a semicircle, something with curves instead of lines. My stick can make musical instruments, right? I can tap my stick. I can scrape my stick. I can take all those little pieces that we made for a fraction, stick them in a container, make a shaker instrument. I can build with my sticks, right? I can create houses. I can, again, add stones, tree blocks, other natural materials if I want to build higher. I can use my sticks for dramatic play props. One of my kids' favorite things to do right now is to turn a pine cone and a stick into a hammer. They like to use their sticks as screwdrivers, other dramatic play props that also require using creativity and imagination. I can take my stick if I'm thinking about fine motor, and I can wrap it with a piece of yarn, right? I can use sticks and yarn again in my building, right? I can tie 2 sticks, 3 sticks, 4 sticks together. I can use those embroidery loops, which we often use to attach sticks. And that's just a stick, right? You probably have access to pebbles, feathers, leaves, many different natural loose parts. And then you can save your budget for things that you really can't find outside. My budget is really for books and more books, maybe a little bit of paint, and then more books. So if you'd like to have your budget-friendly classroom that also provides a lot of opportunity for the children to be creative, use their imaginations, look no further than the natural materials you already have outside. Thank you for joining me today. Make sure that you join us here next week for another episode of Wildwood Teaching. I will see you there.